when people go to install the Facebook pixel, you may have taken a training class where somebody says, please install the Facebook pixel. You know, Facebook advertises, please install our pixel for advertising. And you're like, well, how do I do that? Facebook actually doesn't make it that easy to find the pixel, but they make it really easy to install it. So what I just put in the chat are the actual instructions with all of the links that you will need to actually find the pixel, and then the step-by-step instructions to install it if you ever need to. And I'm not available, or you'd like to go back after this class and do that. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. And I'm actually using Ralston's account today because Ralston's website does not have a Facebook pixel on it yet. So we're going to go ahead and install one today since it's a nice clean account. If you weren't in my last class, you may have noticed that Town Central has changed dramatically overnight. We've given it a facelift, but I promise you that everything that you have known about Town Central is all in its same place. It just looks a little bit different. So do take a look if you get a chance today. So what is a pixel? So a pixel is a tiny, tiny piece of code that's installed on a website that basically tags your computer when a person visits. So when you visit a website, it tags your computer that says, hey, this person visited. So this is a pixel is how you get all of the retargeting done for things like shoes and clothes and Home Depot and us. We use the pixel as well to retarget people. So what we want to do is drive people to our website, drive people to our website, drive people to our website. They get tagged with this little bitty piece of code. They don't know that they get tagged with, but everybody does. Trust me, every single website on the planet, if they are selling something or giving services, is running a pixel on it at this point. It's going to tag, and it's going to be able to follow you around, and we'll be able to retarget with advertising on lots of different places. So the two that we use the most in real estate, at least in this area and for our company, are the Facebook pixel, which allows you to retarget people on Facebook who have come to your website. Okay, so if I log on to Ralston's website and I search and I look at lots and lots of homes, but maybe I don't engage, maybe I don't sign up for Property Watch, maybe I just look at a bunch of different houses and I leave, this is where Ralston can send me a message on Facebook that says, in a little ad that pops up, hey, are you still searching for a home? Hey, are you still looking to sell your home? Hey, I'm still here. And it follows you around. It also allows you to, there's pixels that besides Facebook that allow you to follow things around on the web. That's where you see those like little square ads and those banner ads when you're on another website and you're like, I visited them a week ago. That's how the pixel works. So again, it's just a tiny little piece of code that you can stick on your website. I promise you, this is not difficult. There's no actual coding involved. If you have a site builder account, we've made it super, super easy to just copy and paste. Okay, but that document that I just shared into the chat looks like this. This is the Facebook Business Help Center. So remember, we're getting into some of Facebook's business accounts when we do something like this. These are things that are set up for people who have sales and services. So when you go to that section, it's going to say go to the events manager. You would never find the events manager on Facebook if you were looking under all of your different icons and in your memories and your groups and things like that. There's nothing that says events manager, which is why I shared this for you. And literally these are the steps, and it's fairly easy. We're going to go to the events manager and we're going to connect our website. We're going to tell it we want a pixel. We're going to name it so we can go back and find it again if we need to. We're going to hit continue. We're going to add the pixel to our website. Now, we start getting into more advanced stuff here. It gets a little crazy when it says start adding events. I would like to tell you, if you have a site builder website, we have already set up a lot of these events for you automatically. So we'll be able to tell Facebook, please find the events for me automatically. And it's going to work just fine. So if somebody were to contact you, or somebody were to do a page view, or somebody were to hit the search button, we've already set it up and we've coded it on our end so that Facebook knows that that is a search button. If somebody clicks this, that's what they've done. So you don't have to worry about this big section here at the end unless you're really advanced and this is something you really want to do. But those instructions look a little scary, but I promise you they're not. Today, we're going to focus on these two steps here, which is create a Facebook pixel and how to get it onto your website. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and click that link called Go to Events Manager. Events Manager may seem like an odd name for something like this, but an event is something that happens on your website. It's just a technical term. Google uses it, Facebook uses it. Anytime somebody comes to your website, it's an event. Anytime somebody clicks the search button, it's an event. If they fill out a contact form, it's an event. If they click on a picture, it's an event. That's what they're called, events. That's why this is called an event manager. It's basically just keeping track of what people did on your site and how you want to retarget them later. So we're not going to go into the Facebook ad manager today, which is the next portion of this. It's like step 2. And how do we tell it that we want to use the information from the pixel? I did talk to Tim. We will do that class. Now that we've done the pixel class, we'll do your ad manager class next in the series, and that way you guys can use the pixel to the fullest extent. Okay, so I wanted to show you what this is going to look like when it's set up. So I have this one right here called the test site right now. This is actually set up on my site builder account. I don't use mine nearly as much as Ralston's, but you can see what has happened here. Page view. So somebody came to my site and they looked at it. Somebody actually did an active search. Again, somebody viewed content. These are all things that were automatically set up. So view content for me means somebody viewed the listing detail page. A purchase. Somebody actually either scheduled a showing or contacted me directly from the listing detail page. This was a hot action item. This means that they want me to contact them right this second. These are what our hot leads are based off of. And again, somebody filled out a contact form. So there's lots and lots of different kinds of events that Facebook tracks. And you can retarget either everybody, or you can even retarget based on these individual events in your ad manager. Now, why does that come in handy? So for those of you who have started to learn about funneling, and for those of you who have started to segment all of your buyer and sellers into hot leads, into a color coding system, into a numbering system, whatever system you want to subscribe to, you know that you need to work very, very hard on the things that are very hot and very in the moment, and you spend more money on those, making sure that they're connected because you know that they're going to purchase right away. Amazon does the same thing to you. If you go on to Amazon and you're looking for a particular item, in my house, it's usually a dog bed. I'm looking at dog beds. The system knows that I added something to my cart and then didn't check out. I'm obviously a hot lead. I was to the point of almost checking out, and then I was like, maybe not. So you know that those are ads that you see over and over and over and over and over again. Are you sure you don't want to check out? Do you want to buy this dog bed? Here's some other dog beds that you might like if you didn't like this one. It's going to target me all day long for about 2 weeks to make sure that I really want this dog bed. But it's because I did a very specific event on Amazon, and that means I put something in my cart versus I just went to Amazon and I really didn't look at much, or I just looked at a few things but didn't really do any actions on it. I'm not worth as much money to them, so they're not going to spend as much to send me things over and over and over and over again. So events allow us to do things like that. So if we want to just tag people who came to the website and just send them something else, that's good for page views. We just want to do everybody, we can send ads to those. Or if we want to do people who are maybe hot, maybe we send them a very different message. This is also good in our medium for things like how much is your home worth. So for those of you who are running how much is your home worth ads, you can install these pixels and know when somebody clicked on that button that says how much is your home worth. You wouldn't necessarily target that person back with a buyer ad. Hey, still haven't found the home you're looking for? If somebody clicks on that, how much is your home worth, and you can see that, you're going to target them with a different set of ads. Things like your seller services. Hey, are you still looking for, it's selling, the market is hot. You're going to start looking at those kinds of ads instead because they're hyper focused and hyper targeted. I know this sounds maybe a little bit complicated, but it actually is a way to spend your money in a much wiser way because you're actually segmenting people down into what they really want and why they came to you in the first place. So that's what these events are, and that's why this is called the event manager. So super easy. We're going to just follow the instructions that were on that page. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect a data source. So in this case, our data source is going to be a website. Oops, I need to cancel my other website that I have. second here.
Is somebody's spaceship taking off in the background?
That's probably Ralston.
Your space station's undocking, Ralston.
Sounds like it, thanks to all the traffic at Oceana's base today.
All right, guys. Well, it's going to be slightly longer because it's going to make me log out and log back in again. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh, come on, let me delete.
So while Kristen is getting logged back in, a couple of quick points when we're talking about tracking folks. You want to make sure that you know your sources, you know where your pixels are coming in from, and then I have to remind everyone you need to look at your leads that are coming in. Many lead requests are coming in, and we get that question going: Is this spam or whatever it may be? Right now, your leads are showing up from an address called Reliance Network, and when you see that, that is our developer. Those are true leads. Feel free to go ahead and accept those and go ahead and work on those. Any questions with regards to that while Kristen does this setup? Feel free to unmute and just ask your question.
There we go.
All right.
I made it back in. Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right.
There we go.
Yay, we're back to normal. Thank you. All right. We're going to go to that connect data sources. That was that next step. And it's going to ask us what we want to connect. We're looking at connecting our website. And it's pretty clear right here that we're going to connect our website to share activity that occurs online and view content and cart and purchases. Of course, we don't have cart and purchases on ours, but it tags it for cart and purchase purposes for things like schedule a showing or contact me right from the listing detail page. So I'm going to go ahead and put a check mark there and hit connect. So then it's asking me, do I want to do a conversions API, which sounds really technical, and it is, or do I just want to set up a Facebook pixel? We're just setting up a Facebook pixel. That's all we're doing. This is coding complicated. We don't want to touch this at all, just the Facebook pixel. So it's telling us that we're going to connect some website activity here. Okay, and this is what we're going to do. Just some directions. So we're going to give it our pixel a name. So in this case, I'm going to say Ralston Audain. And it's going to say, check your website for easy website options. And we can actually put a URL in here if our website was set up for the easy setup option, which ours are. So you're welcome to go ahead and use that if you'd like. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and put Ralston Audain in here and hit continue. Okay, so that's it. How to choose where to install your pixel code. You can manually add the pixel code to your website, or you can use a partner integration. Now, we don't use Squarespace, WordPress, Shopify. You just heard Ralston say that we use a company called Reliance. So we don't have a partner integration relationship. You're going to have to install this code manually, but it really is just copy and paste. So we're going to install this code manually. And here's that code, and it's going to say this pixel code is a snippet of JavaScript that's been added to the header section of your website. The pixel has two parts, the base code and the event tags. Remember, we talked about that event tags already. Right now, we're just concerned about this base code. This is what we need to copy and paste onto our website in order to make the Facebook pixel work. So we're going to go ahead and hit copy code. Okay, and then it's telling us what to do. Paste the pixel code into the bottom of the header section just above the head tag. Install the base code on every page of your website. Okay, this sounds a little scary, but it's not. So we've actually provided a place on Site Builder for you to copy and paste things so that we can install it right into the head tag automatically. You don't have to know where, you don't have to know coding, you don't have to know how to get into the back end of your website. You just need to know where to log on in Site Builder. And then it also says install the base code on every page of your website. You don't need to do this either. So once you install it in the section I'm going to show you next on Site Builder, it's going to install it on every page of your website for you. You won't have to do it. Okay, so those are the two big questions that we get. All right, so I'm going to take this code, I've just copied it, and I'm going to go back to Site Builder. So here I am on Town Central, and I'm going to go to Site Builder. Okay, I'm going to go to Collections, and then I'm going to go to Site Editor. Now, normally when I do these training classes, we start right here on the home page, but instead we're going to start on this section right up here called Website Settings. Most of you probably haven't clicked on here yet. And it's going to show us two boxes. We want the one that says third-party scripts. Okay. Remember I said you weren't going to have to know any coding and you weren't going to have to know how to get into the back-end coding of your website? That's because we have put some boxes right here. Header, body, and footer. So some people, some companies, when they have us install pixels or install a little piece of code, might have us put it in different places. Some vendors we work with need it in the footer. Some people need it in the body. In this case, Facebook needs it in the header. So all I'm going to do is paste that code. Notice that it went from updated and then hit saved. So really quick, it went right back to green. And you'll notice it also says all changes made in this section are done instantly on your live website. This means you do not need to hit publish home again, like you were making changes to this. So normally when we make changes to the homepage of our website, we have a giant publish home button right up here that we have to click in order to make it live. This is the only section on your website that doesn't count. It's just these website settings with third-party scripts. So now that script is going to take just a little bit to install. Usually takes a couple of minutes. I give it 10 to 15 for Facebook to start reading it, and then it'll have the Facebook pixel installed on your website. I'm just going to go ahead and close that out and close this. Let me see if it's getting faster than it usually is here. All right, let me blow this up for you. So I'm just looking at the code in the back end of our websites, and look, it's already there. So we didn't have to do anything. Remember, we didn't have to hit publish home. We didn't have to do anything else. And there's our Facebook pixel code already installed. Okay. So now when we go to run an ad out of the ad manager in Facebook, we can tell it things like we want to run within a 20-mile radius of here, or we want to run it here, or there's going to be something new in our ad manager that says the pixel. So you can actually pick an event from your pixel, or you can choose to retarget based on the Facebook pixel code that's on your website. So just a best practice on your Facebook pixel code. The first time you install it, there's nobody to retarget because nobody has come to this page yet. So what you want to do is that right after you install this Facebook pixel code, you want to start doing something on Facebook or send out an e-card or redirect people to your website in some fashion so that you can start collecting people onto the pixel so that you can start recording. So this is a great time to do the Facebook pixel. And we usually encourage people to do it over the summer. You can send out lots of different emails, get a couple of months of the Facebook pixel code with people coming to the site and being able to gather information. And maybe the second week of August, third week of August, when we really ramp up for our fall campaigns, it's a great time to start running ads out of your ad manager based on all the data that it's collected from the Facebook pixel. So just remember that it's not going to be able to get anybody who came to your website last year or the last month or even yesterday. It's going to be as of today since the time that we installed this code on the website. So this is a great opportunity. Sign your people up for Property Watch, get people coming to the website, post something interesting on Facebook with a direct link back to your website. post a really cool listing, post a landing page with a great price range, or a specific neighborhood, or in fact, we just did one the other day from the company that was, hey, view all the homes with pools in the area. It actually did really well. It was just a saved search for every home in the area that had pools. Obviously a hot topic right now. And then you're going to be able to collect all that information from those people coming to your website. It does take a little bit of time to collect people to be able to utilize the Facebook pixel code. You can start running ads right away, but if you only have a few people visiting, or 20, 30, it'll start to build, and people will again continue to be retargeted in your ad manager based on that. But we always recommend that let it run, really drive people to your website, and then start running your ads. So if you have a super active website, you can probably start running it sooner. If you are less active, it's a great opportunity for you to start driving more traffic to your site. So if I were to come to Ralston's website right now, and I were to do a property search and search for homes, it's going to start recording that I came here. So I can do things like searching for a property, hit the search button. I can start filling out the contact forms. I can start doing all of this stuff, and Facebook is going to start recording those events. Remember, I showed you those events in the event manager, and that's what it's looking for, is things that people are doing on the site. I'm going to just refresh your memory on these listing detail pages really quickly. So Facebook is also recording things like requesting info, schedule a showing, whether they push these buttons here. They're trying to figure out the events that people are doing on your website. Again, they're going to try to hit if they hit the contact button, these request and schedule a showing are the same buttons that are available. We have lots and lots and lots of different ways for people to contact you on the sites, including a contact button if they get all the way down to the bottom with a send on it. It's recording, again, all of these different events that are available in here. I'm going to go back to that events manager, and I'm going to hit continue because I've installed the code. So we can turn on automatic advanced matching if we'd like to. So we can verify the information if somebody sends something in a contact form or something like that. We can start tracking them based on that information if we'd like to. This is where you get into some privacy issues and some privacy laws and things like that. If you're interested in more information on it, definitely give us a call over in marketing and we can kind of go over it. For right now, just based on the current events and how things are going with fair housing on Facebook and things like that, I have recommended that we just keep this off unless you are truly into some of these advanced features, just to make sure none of us get in trouble. I'm going to go ahead and hit that continue button. Okay. And then it's going to ask us to either set up events, use the setup event tool to open the website. We can set up our own custom events if we want to. For those of you who might have lots and lots of different things on your homepage, maybe you've installed something interesting on there that you want to track personally. I know one of our agents, Daniel Parrish, has a call to action going to his Instagram page on his homepage. He might want to set up a custom event for that, where it asks where is the event on the page? How do you identify if somebody clicks on it? So you might highlight that box and say, I want to record what this is. Again, the site builder stuff is automatically set up, so we don't have to do those advanced features if we don't want to. It's automatically going to go ahead and run all that stuff through because it's automatically done. So we're going to hit go to pixel overview. Okay, and it's going to tell me my pixel hasn't received any activity. Remember I said this is that time period where it's just going to take a little bit of time for it to refresh and review. It's going to take a little bit for the information to go directly from the website to Facebook. I set up the other pixel example that I did this morning, and you can see that all the stuff that I was doing had come in. If you're on here, you can go ahead and just hit refresh. If you want to try it out, maybe by visiting or having somebody in your household visit, and it'll go ahead and show the events if people have come to your website. Okay, so if you refresh, it'll tell you that it'll start to show this activity screen in here. All right, and that's all you need to do. You're going to use the Facebook pixel later in the ad manager, but for setup, it's really that easy. We're just going to connect the data source. We're going to just follow the prompts to put in our website. We're going to copy that code, put it on our site builder site, and then we're going to go back here and hit the continue button, and we're going to basically just go to the overview, hit refresh once, and that's it. We are completely set up on the Facebook pixel. So for those instructions that look intimidating or overwhelming, it's really just a fairly easy 4-step process. So part of the other class today was the Adwerx retargeting code. It works exactly the same way. And by the way, some of our other vendors also have retargeting codes. If you're using anything by like Boost by HomeSpotter, there's a retargeting option in there that you can put on your website as well. Anytime you get one of these little snippets of code that they're asking for, just so they can track if somebody's come to your website, if they can track things for reporting, if they can do retargeting, they want to make sure that their product is working for you, and they may ask you to install that little snippet of code. That's a pixel, and it's going to be done the exact same way, and those instructions are going to tell you where they want it. Some of our vendors want it in the footer, some of our vendors want it in the body, most of our vendors want it in the header, so you're just going to copy it and you're going to put it in. The next question we often get is, can you have more than one code in the header? And the answer to that is absolutely, positively yes. So if I'm back on my site editor here, I'm on Ralston's website, and I've gone to website settings and third-party scripts. If somebody sends me another code, just go ahead and put it right there at the end. So you can notice that the Facebook code has these little marks here at the beginning and marks at the end. Just about every code you see has some kind of beginning and end. Just go ahead and put it right afterwards. So if I wanted to install the Adwerx code, I'm just going to copy and paste it in there. The Boost by HomeSpotter code, I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste it in there. And it'll just keep building and building and building and building and building. I've got a couple of accounts in here that have the Google Tag Manager in here, or Google Analytics, or they have stuff from another third-party vendor that they're using that they might have connected with that need to do reporting. And it's fine. You can put as much into that header as you need as far as coding is concerned. Just remember to, whatever you do, don't delete any of this. Don't change it. Don't put return marks in it. Don't do anything. Just copy and paste right where it is. Because if you make even one minor change, even something as silly as hitting enter can break that code apart if it's in the middle of the code. So whatever it is, just go ahead and save it and plop it right in as is. Don't worry about anything. It can go right after the other one. Okay. So I wanted to show you, I'm going to go to Ralston's dashboard here. Ralston, of course, is one of our company administrators, but if we hit Adwerx, and I'm going to log into his. Uh-oh, Ralston, did they reset your account? There we go. All right. So Ralston's an ad administrator on here, so we're not going to see a code on here, but I wanted to show you that Adwerx does have codes when you run certain ads, like the zip code ad, or when you're running ads for retargeting. So what this allows it to do is when somebody comes onto your website, you can put that little snippet of code from Adwerx in there, and it's going to retarget them with a web ad instead of a Facebook ad. They also do Facebook ads as well, but you can use the Facebook ad manager for that. But if you wanted to retarget with Adwerx on web ads, so those little display ads that show up on every website you're visiting, you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to just scroll down and just show you an example. So maybe we want to start retargeting somebody who came to our website and obviously just left. So they didn't click on anything. They didn't really do much on there. We know maybe they didn't find what they were looking for. So I created this little retargeting ad called "New Listings Just Came on the Market, View Now." What would happen is, when I installed the Adwerx code, it would go ahead and send this ad in that little square to a lot of different websites that those people are visiting, because we want them to come back. We want them to come back for information they might have been looking for. There's plain ads in here that you can use that it's just branding. It's just your headshot and your contact information, or you can even do something custom like this. Where I'm really targeting people that new listings have come on the market, especially because the market is so hot right now. Remember, I mentioned that it's a great way to also retarget somebody who might have put in information on the seller page. You can say something like, with your market information, homes are selling fast. You can put a little quick stat in there. Homes are, selling for 17% more than they did last year. Contact me now to sell your home, or whatever you want to do. These are great for retargeting. Ralston's is, of course, pending approval right now, and he's an administrator. But you would, once this is approved, you would actually see a little section here for a code, and you would do the same thing. You're going to copy and paste that code right back into Site Builder, in your site editor, in your website settings, third-party scripts, and you can pop that code right into the end there, and it'll start recording not only for Facebook, so ads that are running out of the Facebook Ad Manager, but it'll also start recording for any kind of ads that you're running out of Adwerx that may be used for retargeting or zip code advertising as well. It's a great way to track whether a campaign is really doing well and where those people are also coming from. So the pixels carry a lot of information and a lot of good, not demographic information, but information about whether something is useful and also what areas people are coming from. Even pixels can get down to things like what times people are using your website. Things like that can be valuable to know when you should post, when people are active, when people are looking at your website and things like that. So there's a lot of information that you can get out of these pixels eventually down the road that are really valuable for just marketing in general. So that's how you create the Facebook pixel and install it. And then, of course, adding any additional pixels from any of our other third-party vendors, that's how you do it and how you install it. And I'm happy to take any questions at this time.
Kristen, hey, it's Ashley. Can you show us on the Adwerx portion? So I know you said for when we were doing Facebook, we go to site editor and then website settings and then third party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then for Adwerx, where did you get that code that you then pasted in that area?
So it's not showing, but there is a code on here with Adwerx, and I'm sorry I was actually on the phone with Adwerx prior to this, hoping I could push this through to get that code to be exposed, but there is a code that's on here. I'm actually going to follow up with Adwerx as soon as we're finished here and make sure that we get that code exposed for this so that that button shows up. But there is a button that has the retargeting code on it that we can't see this very second.
So it would be under the edit, all those other buttons that we're seeing on the right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So remember that retargeting code for Adwerx only works for the ads that are targeted by zip code and then ads that are for retargeting. I wanted to point out, do not forget that BHHS National has a huge campaign with Adwerx on your behalf already. They have a standard retargeting ad that they run all the time that looks just like this. Their retargeting for that is their own. They pay for it in the whole 9 yards. This is just for retargeting ads that would be in addition to that, or zip code ads in addition to some of the stuff that the BHHS National pays for. So you all see an ad for retargeting and every single person has one in there, but we can't retarget this particular ad because BHHS is part of the BHHS National thing. You'll see that I created a second one here called ad for retargeting that we can use on our own websites. If you're not seeing one on your ad for retargeting, it's because it's the one owned by BHHS National. So, okay. Any other questions?
All right, looks like you did a pretty thorough job of explaining that. That was great stuff. Thank you, Kristen. I believe that wraps us up for this session. If Tim is here, if you have any closing remarks, otherwise, thank you guys, and we'll see you again at 12 o'clock for the next session.